Commissioner Representative Duffy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Commissioner, thank you for being here today. I just want to go back to, I think, some things that Mr. Paulson had brought up. You'd agree that with population growth, we have to see about 130,000 new jobs created every month just to maintain the status quo. Is that right?
It's not a very precise number, but there are numbers kind of along those lines. Yeah.
Am I hitting the middle point there? Is that a number that's a range around 130,000? Am I off?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Tom agrees. Therefore, it's true.
Thank you, Tom. And this month we created only 74,000 new jobs, right? So if you look at just to maintain our employment rate, you have to be at 130,000. But this month we're at 74,000. And I think oftentimes America will hear the unemployment rate going from 7% down to 6.7%, and they would view that as the country going in the right direction in regard to job creation and economic growth. But would you agree that actually the reduction in the unemployment rate is not an indicator of strong job growth like many of Americans may think?
So I'm going to unpack things just a little bit.
Thank you.
Right? So the decline in the unemployment rate, certainly this month we think is somewhere around 2/3 due to the decline in labor force participation and about 1/3 to job creation. Right? Generally speaking, though, the employment to population ratio has essentially stayed about the same since late 2009. So that is problematic. But we have two different forces acting on employment to population. One is demographic changes that would tend to depress participation, just as baby boomers like myself age. Our population generally getting older, and we're getting into times we're more heavily weighted towards parts of the population that participate less. So we have to increase employment to population. We not only have we need to compensate for this downward pressure. So that's one effect. The other effect is the recovery from the recession, and that would require creation of many more jobs.
So maybe going back to the question for Tom earlier.
Yes.
So since pre-09, traditionally we needed 130,000 jobs per month to maintain employment with population growth. Are you saying that this year and the year before that's actually not true? It's been static, our population growth? So if we actually have a $74,000 job gain, that's actually 74,000. We're moving in the right direction. You know, so are you saying that our population growth is taking place at 130,000 roughly per month right now?
Yeah. Well, our average has been over this past year has been 182,000. But Tom's going to take a stab at this. Let him.
Right. Just in general, with the EP ratio, employment population ratio, that being steady would indicate that job growth is basically enough to keep track with population growth, the growth of the population 16 and over. You're not, but obviously it's slower than it was at the start of the recession, so we're not gaining ground in terms of increasing the proportion of the population that's employed, getting it back to the pre-recession levels. But we're basically keeping track with population growth is the way to look at it.
Okay. I want to quickly switch gears. I think a lot of the disagreement that we find on both sides of the aisle over the last several years comes to the economy and job growth. Do you guys look at statistics and have an analysis on whether raising the minimum wage will create more jobs, or does the effect of that create less jobs?
This is very much a policy question.
But I'm asking, statistically, do you look at, do you analyze that on the statistic front?
We do not have any statistics that would allow us to answer that question.
Okay. I yield back.